papas con chorizo. This is a childhood staple of mine, definitely a staple in many other Mexican cultures, Latin American cultures. This is something you see a lot in South Texas, at a cafe, at a gas station breakfast taco, papas con chorizo. And I want to basically show you that this could be a really good side at your dinner table, whether for Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving, the upcoming holidays, or even just dinner time in general. Let's show you some techniques to make a really good papas con chorizo. Now, while this is chorizo con papa, you might also tell this is different from the usual because I thought I could show you just some techniques to make it just a little nicer. Okay, not that anything is wrong with normal papas con chorizo. It's a beautiful steamed potato mixed with chorizo on the side of your eggs and beans and tortillas. This is just a little technique to make it into a nice appetizer style side for your dinner table, or maybe your Friendsgiving or your Thanksgiving. I thought, why not bring it to you in this form factor? I'm not trying to fuck up one of my childhood dishes from my culture. I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to show you some little steps that can make things a little bit nice. Okay, there was a fair amount of comments in the last video about the chorizo that I used, even though it was one from my childhood, but I do want to showcase you can find good chorizo if you have a Mexican market in your town. So I'm at a little Mexican market right now. It's a carniceria is what they would call it, and you could find really good chorizo here.
Thank you very much.
Okay, they also have a panaderia here that has all the goods that I used to eat as a kid. My grandma used to live across from a Mexican bakery, and I used to go all the time. Maybe I should do a video on some of these, let me know. This is the potato that is usually used for this dish, the Yukon Gold potato, rather than the russet potato, which is more watery. This one's perfect because it's creamy, it's crisp when you crisp it up. It's got a really nice exterior, like it's waxy, and it holds flavor. This is a very buttery potato. These are just gonna get baked off in the oven. But one of my memories of these is from going to what's called a cafe. And a cafe, it's similar to the diner concept. And we have so many of them back in South Texas. And instead of like the typical like pancakes and eggs, you get frijoles, eggs, and a giant tortilla. There's always a giant tortilla that takes up the entire plate, and it's usually like $2 to $3. And it's filled with chorizo, papas. On the side, it'll have that, and it'll be filled with like eggs, beans. You get coffee that's like bottomless. That was always one of my favorites. I love going to this spot called Toddle Inn back home.
Good morning, Matt. This is Mark Perez from the Toddle Inn restaurant in Brownsville, Texas. I'd like to welcome your subscribers. We're gonna put together a giant flour taco with potato and chorizo. So, we're gonna pull a tortilla here, fresh tortilla. There. All right. And get the potato and the chorizo. There you have it. Flour tortilla, 64 years in the making here at the Toddle Inn restaurant in Brownsville.
Back home, we have lots of these places called cafes, and they're on every corner. This could be another concept on its own that I could go over later down the road. I just want to go over this side because I think this could be a really good side dish for your Thanksgiving. Rather than just doing a simple, mashed potato, which is delicious, we can add in something a little more bold and something that has some history and some memory to it. Why not? These are just dry on a sheet tray going into the oven at about 375 degrees Fahrenheit, as you can see right here. I let them go into the oven just until they're like soft all the way through. You can poke it with a knife. Now, the reason why I am putting them in the oven instead of boiling them, first off, it's so much easier just to toss them in there. But the next reason is when you boil it, it dilutes the potato. You're losing that nice starch that you want to fry off. And also another thing is it's gonna make them wet, which is gonna make it harder for them to crisp up. Putting them in the oven dries them off. It makes them easier for them to fry off. So this is something that we used to do in the restaurants all the time. Now, growing up, papas con chorizo were like the prominent staple. It was another thing back in South Texas that you could find everywhere. You could even find it at the gas station. Actually, Anthony Bourdain went to the gas station that I used to get my breakfast tacos at, and he even said it there. This place serves real authentic breakfast tacos. You got tortillas being rolled out on the side of the cash register, and you got your papas con chorizo in there. But yeah, papas con chorizo, you could find that anywhere. The cafe, the gas station, a Mexican restaurant. It's a staple that's common, and I think this could make a really good staple at your dinner table. The reason why this method works is because the onions are releasing their moisture while heating up with that oil, which is gonna allow it to brown without burning. It's gonna get nice and crispy. It's gonna get that texture that we want to be that nice crispy onion garnish that you would see at your Thanksgiving table. Now, these crispy onions are not standard, but onions are definitely standard in South Texas in Mexican food. So I thought this would be really good. My Aunt Jackie would actually always do crispy fried onions on a lot of our Mexican dishes that we have. And yeah, these are a really good garnish just to have around in general. Like, just look how crispy that is. And it's so easy, way easier than you'd think to get this. Hey again. You're probably wondering, why am I baking these? Well, the reason for this is I'm gonna smash them, and I need to bake them to smash them. It's much better than boiling them. I remember doing this method when we would cater for Nintendo, like 6,000 people at a time, and we would utilize this method and use a big ass sheet tray just to smash all of them. This is a really good crowd pleaser. It's super easy. It's a really great way to get nice crispy potatoes, and I can do all of this in one day, or I could do this in advance if I'd like for my big party for Thanksgiving or whatever. To be honest, potatoes are so versatile. You're gonna need a mug. Any sort of coffee mug that has like a flat bottom. It's even better if it has like the little lips on the edge. And you're gonna need this mug to smash your potato, or something flat, to be honest, but the mug is so good for this. You take this, you put it on your warm potato while it's still warm, you give it a light smash down, and there you go. We've got the smashed potato that's ready to pan fry. Such an easy method, I'm telling you. I've also noticed a fair amount of new people on here. I do scan your comments, just so you know, even the negative ones. So if you have a comment, drop one on what you'd like to see next. Even a negative one, if you have a good negative one, drop it, it's all good. But you can also go on to the Discord, and there's a good community of us on there, and we like to talk about what's next, or even the recipes from prior. So if you want to join that, you can. You don't have to. You don't even have to subscribe, but I do want to know what you like about these past few videos, because they seem to be resonating with you guys. Is it mainly because I'm talking about my childhood favorites, or maybe you guys come from the Rio Grande Valley too? I don't know. I'd love to hear it. But yeah, these smashed potatoes, I have so much memories with them, and this is just something I wanted to do with my childhood favorite, papas con chorizo, because I know papas con chorizo doesn't need like any elevating, but I'd like to take it to, you know, just that next level. Just make it a little bit nicer so I can turn it into a nice side that you guys might want to take to your Friendsgiving or Thanksgiving with family or whatever, just because that's coming up pretty soon. And as you can see, I'm flying through these right now with this coffee mug. But if you so wanted to, you could just take the sheet tray with another sheet tray on top and smash all of them. I just like doing it like this because it gives me more control, and I could make them all as flat as possible. Oh my God, this is really hot. But yeah, here we go. That's all my smashed potatoes right there. Hi. Yeah, so as you can see, I've got some right here. I could just keep these chilling in the fridge, and then now I could take these out and just fry them off. As you can see, if you want to just do them the day before, have them chilled off. It's actually nicer if you let them chill off fully, so you could get a nice crispy exterior and that fluffy interior on the potato. So the goal with these is just to give them a nice little pan fry. But I want to take it a step further. I'm gonna pan fry it in the chorizo. Here's the chorizo I got from the Mexican store today, and I already have some from that store that I took out of the casing, and I just like to keep it in a container. So, oh, let's not drop it. Yeah, if you want to, you know, not use the whole link, you could always just take it out of the link and put it in a little container like this and pull it out as you need it. But I'm just gonna crisp up some chorizo and then cook it in the chorizo fat. This is such a solid way to cook a potato though. Even without the chorizo, it's nice and crispy, but with it, it is definitely a staple from my childhood. You know, chorizo was just one of those things that I didn't even know what it was. My mom would add it to eggs and it would mysteriously turn it red and make it delicious. I didn't know what it was. But now that I do, I love putting it on everything, including potatoes. I would even go as far as to say, like, why not dress it up a little with some queso fresco and some of these crispy fried onions, maybe even cilantro if you want. You could dress it up, make it look even nicer. But on their own, this is definitely one of the souls of Mexican food right here. It's a very northern style of doing potatoes. Okay, here's what I want you to do. If you want to see more sides inspired for the Thanksgiving table or just whatever, comment sides on the comment section and we'll hit some more sides this week.